Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kori Maru, and today I'm diving into the highly anticipated release, Like a Dragon Yakuza, the new Prime Video series based on Sega's popular Yakuza franchise. Thanks to Prime Video, I've had a chance to watch the first 3 episodes of this series, and I'm here to review my thoughts and impressions on the show for you guys. Like a Dragon Yakuza is set across 2 decades, spanning the years 1995 and 2005, and follows the lives of 4 childhood friends, Kazuma Kiryu, Akira Nishikiyama, Yumi Sawamura, and Miho Nishikiyama. It's a crime action series that stays true to the Yakuza game's dramatic themes, but with a fresh approach. But does the series live up to the legacy of the video games? Let's find out together. Before we get into it, there are a few minor spoilers in this video, so feel free to watch this video after watching the show. And if you enjoy Sega content, or just love talking about video games and media, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Let's get into it. The show kicks off with our 4 main characters who grew up together in Sunflower Orphanage. Early on, they make a reckless decision to steal money from the Dojima family in hopes of starting a new life in Kamurochō. Things don't go as planned, and when they are caught, Kazuma Kiryu steps up to protect his friends, offering himself to the Dojima family. From there, he joins the Yakuza with the goal of becoming the Dragon of Dojima himself, whom he idolized as a child. However, this choice sets off a chain reaction that changes all their lives, particularly Nishiki. The show bounces between 1995 and 2005, giving us a clear view of how each of these characters evolve over time. For anyone familiar with the original Yakuza and Yakuza Kiwami video game, you'll notice similarities with some important key story plots and elements, but the series takes a different direction to keep things fresh. One thing I really like so far is how the show brings the setting to life. Kamurochō is still the same fictional bustling entertainment district we all know and love, but seeing it in the context of live action really adds a new layer between both time periods. The show also does a decent job showing off both the gritty underworld and the city's bustling attractions in a more realistic sense, with the exception of some locations like the Millennium Tower, for example. In my opinion, the exterior design of the building does look a bit off and too futuristic for this show, but the interior within the building looks really nice and combines familiar locations that matches the aesthetic from the games. As for the characters that caught my attention, Ryoma Takeuchi steps into the role of Kazuma Kiryu, and I have to say, he nails the role in the show despite him not playing the games in interviews and bringing his own take on the character. He may not look the part, but he does bring out Kiryu's tough, no-nonsense exterior, but you can also see a strong sense of justice and his softer, more compassionate side on screen. For the fans of the games, Kiryu is known for being a protector, and Takeuchi captures that well. Kento Kaku, who plays Nishikiyama, is also another standout. I really enjoy seeing the 2 sides of Nishiki's character. In the 1995 segment, more lighthearted and a silly goofball that tries to be taken seriously, and you also get to see a real sense of the brotherly bond in scenes he shares with Kiryu. But by 2005, he's a changed man with a cold persona and driven by dark emotions. Kaku does an excellent job showing that transition. Then there's Yumi and Miho. Yumi Kawai plays Yumi Sawamura, and I was pleasantly surprised to see how involved and different she is in the story compared to her video game counterpart. She's a bit more independent, and her character has more depth in its adaptation as she goes on her own journey searching for her sister. Hinano Nakayama plays Miho, Nishiki's younger sister, and she brings a lot of energy and heart into her role. Miho's cheerful personality really makes her stand out when she's on screen with the others, and it's easy to get attached to her as a character. And of course, we gotta talk about my boy Goro Majima, who's getting his own spin-off by the way. Munetaka Aoki plays Majima, and he does a great job of portraying the character's unpredictable personality and wild nature seen in the games. His first badass interaction and encounters with Kiryu and Nishiki are some of the most highlighted moments in the show so far for me, and I would like to see more of his crazy antics in the next batch of episodes. I would like to praise the other actors, Toshiaki Karasawa, Sabaru Shibutani, and Masaya Kato, Shintaro Kazuma, Makoto Date, and Showa Dojima, respectfully, as they portray the characters a bit like their game counterpart while providing their own take on each of them. Can't say much about Taiga Seijima, he's just there. When it comes to the direction and Like a Dragon Yakuza, it's clear that the show is aiming for a different approach compared to the games. There are some moments in the show that might raise some eyebrows in the fan community with some character relationship changes and plot points that would seem like it belongs to another RGG series. Now as for the action, if you play the Yakuza games, you'll know that the fights are usually over the top with Kiryu throwing bikes, smashing people into walls, and taking on a huge group of enemies with some crazy brutal moves in a flashy style. In the show, while it does showcase some moves from the games, it's not as flashy and the fight scenes felt a bit too brief and boring for my taste. While this makes sense for the show's more serious crime drama tone, it does feel a bit underwhelming for those of us who are really hoping to see more of the over-the-top action that the games are known for. And the one thing that really stood out to me and to a lot of fans is the lack of a karaoke scene between Kiryu and Nishiki. In the games, karaoke isn't just a fun mini-game, it's one of those moments that let you see the more human side of these characters. The bonding karaoke moment between Kiryu and Nishiki is a fan favorite, and it's a real shame that the show didn't include it, at least in the first 3 episodes. Even if it was added as a small scene, it would have added some lightheartedness and showed more of a bond between Kiryu and Nishiki outside all the drama and crime. Instead, the show keeps a pretty serious tone throughout between the 2 time periods, which works for the darker story it's telling, but I think some will appreciate the lighter moments as well with the main characters. Despite the underwhelming action, the pacing of the show is still solid. The time periods between 1995 and 2005 are handled well, giving you a clear picture of how these characters evolve over time. The show can get quite bloody and violent in certain scenes, and there are moments of dramatic scenes involving the cast, which is no surprise in the games. The story has some depth, but I would like to see where it goes as the plot dives deeper when the next batch of episodes arrive. One of the interesting things about Like a Dragon Yakuza is that it's not just made for longtime fans of the video games, but also to attract a broader audience. The show is designed to introduce the Yakuza Like a Dragon series to people who might not be familiar with the games. By grounding the story in crime drama and focusing on the relationships and moral struggles of the characters, it's accessible even to newcomers who haven't played a single game. But as a fan myself, I still have to recommend checking out the earlier Yakuza games and the Nintendo Switch port of Yakuza Kiwami, which is out now if you're interested in diving deeper into Kiryu's story. Overall, I find Like a Dragon Yakuza decent to watch. Not perfect by all means, but decent to watch as its own thing. I like how the story unfolds between the 2 time periods and focus on its characters, though I wish it included some quirky moments inspired from the games and more intense longer fight scenes. Let's see how the series unfolds when the next set of episodes release on November 1st. Thanks for watching my review of Like a Dragon Yakuza. Have you watched the show on Amazon Prime? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more SEGA or video game content from me, be sure to like the video, share, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews and discussions. I'd love to hear what you think about the show or if you spotted any Easter eggs from the games. Until then, see you all next time.